What's up, Giants fans, Hub watchers, YouTube subscribers, Rumble subscribers, Twitter and Instagram followers? It's Kush back at it again with another New York Giants update video. There's gonna be really just two updates for y'all. I'm not dead, as you could see. I know it has been 3 days since I posted. Usually I post on Mondays. I was just really busy. My college semester is picking up. For those of you that don't know, I am now a senior. This is my second to last semester, so these last two ones are gonna be very busy and a lot of hard work. So I mean, bear with me, but I'm still be here producing these videos for y'all. With that being said, let's talk about today, and that is positive points. All right, I've been a very negative with the Giants since the loss on Thursday, and I think that's fair. You know, I think it's fair to be negative to Giants right now. I'm not judging anybody that is, because I'm the same way. However, it's been how many days has it been now? Like 4 or 5 days since that loss. We are in week 3. We are preparing for the Falcons, and that's what we're focused on. And there were positives to take away from that week 2 loss against Washington on Thursday Night Football. There were quite a bit of positives. We all know the biggest positive was, of course, in our quarterback, Daniel Jones. He showed for the first time since 2019, in my opinion, a good reason for me to believe in him being the franchise quarterback. And he had, in terms of decision making, and on the field production, the best game of his career. You know, touchdowns aside, that was the best game I saw from Daniel Jones. I mean, he should have had 4 touchdowns in total. 2 of them got called back, but he had an incredibly great game. And we're not the only people that noticed. I know, depending on how some of you look at this is either not going to matter, or you're going to look at it as a sign of respect, but he was named the PFF Offensive Player of the Week. Now, here's why this matters more than anything, because y'all know how I view PFF. It's a tool to use. Sometimes, you know, they produce some really bad stuff. Sometimes they produce some really good stuff. But what's consistent with them is that they're the only service that analyzes every single minute of every single game in the NFL. And when it comes to Offensive Player of the Week, well, this is a big deal, because that means he won it over every other quarterback, running back, wide receiver, offensive lineman in the league, tight end, you name it. And there were quite a few offensive performances this week that I could even argue were better than Daniel Jones's in week 2. You know, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones come to mind. Derek Carr, of course, comes to mind immediately. Mahomes, Brady, all of these people, you could argue, had better week 2 performances than Daniel Jones. So it really does make you wonder why they gave it to him instead of one of these many other players. This was their explanation. He led all quarterbacks in week 2 in total completions on passes thrown 10 or more yards down the field with 11. And even that could have been more, as 2 of his down the field throws were dropped. The third-year quarterback also led the position in positively graded throws and recorded the week's lowest negativity graded throw rate. An impressive feat, given he was under pressure on 44.7% of his dropbacks. Jones didn't let the pressure disrupt the timing of the offense, standing tall in the pocket and delivering accurate throws. He also showed off the impact he can make in the running game with 3 runs of 10+ yards, tying Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts for the most of the week. Now, what we'll say, like I said, PFF is a tool. Some of their stuff is really good, some of their stuff is really bad, some of their stuff is really confusing. I have no idea what a positively graded and a negatively graded throw is, and I have no idea how they come up with that grade. However, what we could all take away from here as, you know, fact was the passes down the field, was the pressure rate, and the fact that, yes, he didn't let it affect him. We know he doesn't let pressure affect him. It's a detriment sometimes. And that, yes, he can show an impact in the run game. In fact, Lamar Jackson became the first player this week in NFL history, first quarterback to throw for 200+ yards, rush for 100+ yards, and rush for 2 touchdowns in a regular season game. Now, of course, we all know if a couple of those touchdowns didn't get called back and one big run didn't get called back, that would have actually been Daniel Jones instead of Lamar Jackson, and he would have done it, of course, on Thursday night instead of on Monday night. But we'll forget about that for now, because, well, a lot of stuff happened. However, what this shows is that Daniel Jones is truly having an impact on this team, and we know this. What we need to see is if he's going to continue it. That's always been the question. I won't lie to y'all when I say part of me in the back of my head is saying, well, this is against Washington. He always does good against them. And that is true. However, this was the best Washington team he's gone up against. Last year, this Washington defense held him to, I think, around 100 passing yards, and he didn't look nearly as dominant as he did this year. I'm hoping it's a positive, and I hope he could carry it over into every single game following up from now for the rest of the season. Of course, it is nice for him to get recognition from around the league. It's nice for him and for us to be recognized around the league in general. In addition to that, Kenny Golladay. Now, we all know Golladay was spotted on the sideline, seemingly yelling at somebody during the game. It's speculated that it was Daniel Jones because that's what it looked like. However, as more and more people looked at the video, we all began to wonder, was it actually Jason Garrett? And yes, now it's been confirmed. It was Jason Garrett. Here's the quote from Golladay. Pretty much just me talking to Jason Garrett a little bit. That is two competitive guys right there. More so just me wanting to do anything I can. Not so much get me the ball more. Now, I'm going to call a little BS on this. All right? I'm not saying that Golladay is lying. I'm not saying that it is just two of them being competitive. I'm not saying that it's not him wanting to do anything he can, because I believe all that. And I do believe that was his passion right there showing. His passion for winning, passion for wanting to win, for wanting to have an impact on the game. But that includes getting the ball more. I think, he's probably trying to do a little damage control here, because he had 3 catches on 8 targets for 38 yards in the entire game. But also, what was a little bit more disheartening was this was his targets versus Washington. On first down, he had 8. Second down, he had 2. Third down, he had 0 targets. And he had 1 single target in the entire fourth quarter. This is something I've been saying since that Thursday game for a while now. And that is, you pay not only your number 1 receiver, not only the receiver that you're paying $20+ million to a year, not only one of the best 50-50 ball catchers in the league and physical receivers in the league, you just throw your guy. That's supposed to be your guy on the offense, your guy on the receiving side, the guy that we signed to change this offense and put it in the next step. You throw him the football in crunch time. And these numbers show the Giants did not throw him the football at all in crunch time. And Golladay has every right to be upset with that. I'm saying is that I do think a little bit of it was him wanting the ball more, and I agree with him. However, of course, damage control is being done. Joe Judge even was doing some damage control. Before I get to Judge's quote, there's one more from Golladay here. He says, I've never really done anything like that either. Really just passion, just being a competitor. I want to do anything I can to help the team, and I let the emotions get the best of me. I mean, I don't blame you, man, and I agree with your stance. And then this is what Judge said. He said, look, I'd say in terms of, you guys asked me the other night, there was no argument on the sideline. There was no him versus Daniel or anything of that nature. This guy is in the heat of the moment. You speak very passionately. You kind of speak with emotion. I speak with emotion on the sideline. There's no blow up or anything that has to be made of it. I understand sometimes the perceptions will be what they are, but like I said the other day, there's no issues here. I will say I don't think there is an issue anymore. I do believe Golladay and Garrett talked it out, and I do believe we had one of the best, if not the best, offensive performances under the Garrett and Judge regime this past Thursday. However, what remains to be seen is if they implement the changes, and they've had 10 days, in terms of the break between Thursday and this upcoming Sunday to do so. So I'm going to try and believe that they do make the changes. Judge was also doing a little bit of damage control on Kadarius Toney, because we all know Toney, even though he's been out the field being used in routes, isn't being targeted at all. And then this is what Judge had to say to it. He said, I explained the other day on the sideline, I talked to him about it. There's times in the games where it's natural to become frustrated because you want to make an impact for your team. And of course, we all remember the post that Toney made on his Instagram story talking about how, things are lame and how rightfully so it could be connected to the Giants. But Judge is saying that that is not what it is, that we are just misinterpreting it. What I will say is, you know what, maybe you're telling the truth, Joe. Maybe your organization is telling the truth, but this just seems like a lot of damage control to me. It seems like a lot of misinterpretations coincidentally is happening. I believe that both can be true. I believe that part of that could be towards the Giants, and that part of it could be towards whatever you guys are saying it's towards. The fact of the matter remains, get 2 of your guys involved that we spent high value on in terms of money for Kenny Golladay and a pick for Kadarius Toney. But that's it for today, guys. You guys let me know what you think. 2 news updates for you. I'll put your thoughts down below. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm out. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'll catch y'all in the next one.